What's up, guys? This is Crossface DM. Do you like it raw? Oh, baby, I like it raw. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to dive into some rules that, as rules is written, fifth edition, that you can use at your table to run a completely different style game than probably what you're seeing at the table today. All right, so let's dive right in. All right, guys, this ended up being a lot more in depth than I intended it to be. But these are some of the rules that if I would run 5th edition again, which I'm not going to, I am solo playing the game, and I am trying to co-op play the game with my wife, but I am not going to be running this again for like a group. However, I know a lot of people say this is my group only wants to play 5th edition, so on and so forth. Here's some rules that are technically still rules as written. Still raw. You like it raw, we like it raw. Shimmy, shimmy, yah. But let's go in here and check this out. So I got all these magic cards for different areas. So I'm not 100% sure exactly what all of them are. Here's one. Paying for better weapons. Now, a lot of people might be doing this already. I haven't heard a lot of discourse about this. It may or may not, but you can pay for silvered weapons. You know, like an extra 100 gold. And I think, and I don't know if it's in this specific situation, section here, but you can also pay. You can also, and I didn't put a card there, but so you can pay 100 gold for a single silver weapon or 10 pieces of ammunition. That's paying somebody to do the job for you, like a smithy or something like that. That is a rule that I don't really ever hear done that much. This can create a world. You have to find someone to do this. You have to find the silver for it. So not only is it going to cost you 100 gold, but you also have to find the silver. And then you got to pay the man for his time. So that's something, and this is page 148. This is something that I don't really hear a lot about. So that's a rule that you can bring in there. This make undead scary again. All right, so this here is services. So adventurers can pay characters to help them. So some services, a wizard might pay a carpenter to construct a chest. A fighter may commission a blacksmith to forge a special sword, something that we were just talking about. Okay, but what I'm going to point out here is, I don't know if you can see it or not, but let's see. Skilled hirelings. Skilled, 2 gold a day. Untrained, 2 silver a day. So mercenaries soldiers can get paid. Skilled hirelings include anyone to perform a service. So it includes that proficiency, including a weapon or tool skill. A mercenary, an artisan, a scribe, and so on. 2 gold a day. The pay shown is minimum. Some expert hirelings may require more. Untrained hirelings are more like, you see, laborers, porters, maids, similar workers, link boys, torch boys, stuff like that. This is something that hirelings, good lord, this section here, this is page 159. This section, you can hire however many you want. Are you kidding me? Like, seriously? For a week, 2 gold a day, what is that, 14 gold for one guy. So if you have 140 gold ready to go, you can have 7 mercenaries ready to go fight with you. Are you kidding me? This will blow the top off right here. This is amazing. All right, this is a really good one. All right, let's turn the page. All right, this is something that people may or may not be doing. I don't hear about this too much unless it's like a story plot point. But checking for surprise. Determining surprise at every encounter. Now this goes into another rule that we're going to talk about in a little bit, but random encounters. But you need to be determining surprise during every encounter. This can change everything. I don't know. Determining surprise. Step number 1, determining surprise. So we'll go ahead and, I think a lot of people are doing that, but I don't know. I don't know how they do it, or if they're, I don't know. Let's talk about this art, by the way. This is really good. All right, and the last in the player's handbook here, I didn't know this was in here until just the other day. This is basically Appendix N, but this is Appendix E, inspirational reading. All right. Do yourself a favor. If you love reading, read this. We have Paul Anderson, Three Hearts, Three Lions. We have a lot of books in here. I think the Black Company's in here. We have Black Company. That's a newer one, I believe. I was going down the list. Obviously, Robert Jordan, Robert E. Howard. I'm not a big fan, but George R. R. Martin. H.P. Lovecraft, The Complete Works. The Grey Mouser series. And then one of my personal favorites, other than Robert E. Howard, is Clark Ashton Smith. Do yourself a favor. Go read this stuff. Nine Princes in Amber. Read this stuff. This is it right here, guys. You want to be a better dungeon master? Here you go. All right, so that's just the player's handbook. Moving on. Dungeon Master's Guide. All right. Let's see if I can do this without messing up. So, obviously, I was telling you this ties into the other stuff. Checking for random encounters. If you roll a d20 and the result is 18 or higher, a random encounter occurs. You need to be doing this often. Do this in dungeons, not just wilderness. Do this everywhere. You need to be doing this. You can ignore this bullshit. Create your own, but you don't need to be doing d12 plus d8. I don't know what's all that. You can do a d8, or you can just check for random encounters and do it often. Do it often. All right. Building a stronghold. Now, this is just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people probably run businesses and stuff. But building a stronghold, look at the palace or large castle. Look at that. 500,000 gold. And it takes, what is that? 4 years? Less than 4 years. 3.5 years or something? This is very interesting. And they have more rules up here too. Deeds to small estates can be 100. So I don't know how many people are doing this. I have heard more talk about this specifically than I have some of the other stuff we talked about recently. But this is interesting. There's a reason Matt Colville can sell a whole book about stuff, about rules that are already written for D&D. Not anybody knows about them. All right. Turn the page. What is this one about? Training. Training to gain levels. 10 days, 20 gold. This is interesting. I don't know how many I don't know how many people would like this, but this is very interesting, and I think you need to what this will do is this will create experts. So a fighter needs to go from level 4 to 5, he has to find an expert to help him train. So he has to go find that guy and train with him for 20 days. And then they'll build a relationship. I haven't looked at the strict record keeping aspect of this game, but this is very interesting. There's a reason the time is talked about. 400 days for a temple. 30 days to go to 11th level. There's a reason this stuff is mentioned, and it's not because we need to keep loose records of time. We need to keep strict records of time to have a meaningful campaign. All right. I don't know. I think I lost one. Here we go. Randomly roll your treasure, guys. Good Lord. Don't just hand it out. Do this. Randomly roll your treasure. You know, and you don't even really have to, you don't have to follow this if you don't want to, this exact scheme here. But roll for your treasure. It will make, and do it in the open in front of, the players. Or let them roll. Let them roll their own treasure. That's fun. Variant, more difficult identification. I didn't even see this till right now, which I knew was in here, but you don't need to let them know what it is. Just tell them that it's a fancy sword or it's a fancy hat. Don't tell them what it is. Don't even do the attunement shit. Let them figure it out. Pay somebody to identify it, or have an identify spell, something like that. Fuck around and find out. All right, what is this? This is more on training. So this is other rewards, not just treasure, other rewards. So other rewards can include parcels of land. You can, all this other stuff. This is all decent. Letters of recommendation, parcels of land, strongholds, titles, training. They get to train and learn something, maybe learn a feat, or they maybe become friends of the Knight Commander of the King's Guard. This is, dude, these rules can transform your game into something completely different than what is shown at the table at most YouTube channels. Initiative. Side initiative. Try this. I enjoy this quite a bit. I do something different. I actually play with like the BX side initiative or the AD&D side initiative, but that's interesting. Also, if weird initiative, I recommend this one the most. But if you're looking to experiment, this speed factor thing, pretty interesting. And I never played around with this, but this is very interesting. And I want to try this, and I would report back at a later time. This might be a horrible suggestion, but it's worth looking into. All right, guys, and one of the granddaddies of them all, random dungeons. This Appendix A is just amazing. Too many people don't play in dungeons, or they build their own crappy dungeons. Just let this, you don't have to follow this to a T. I usually do, but just play around with this. Use this for inspiration. This is a great tool. It gives you all kinds of inspiration as far as like what the room is for, stuff like that. Monsters, different traps, all kinds of good stuff here. Use this. This is a great tool for creating your own adventures. Okay? And the last book to kind of round out everything, Xanathar. So there's only going to be one rule in this. Well, there's more than that, but there's only going to be one thing that I'm going to talk about, and it's going to tie into a lot of the same stuff I've been talking about already. Random encounters. These are the tables you can use if you don't want to create your own. They have them sectioned off here in levels, so you don't have to. You can do what you want, or you can go through these and make your own out of the three. Like if you want to have, you know, the bottom 40 be from this, and then the next 40 be from this, and then at the very end you want to have the ancient white dragon or the whatever you want to do. But these are all separated in different areas as well. These are very useful. Arctic, coastal, desert, all kinds of good stuff here, guys. All kinds of good stuff. And there's all kinds of good stuff in general in Xanathar's for 5th edition. Names. And then I don't know exactly where it's at. I think it's 61. Oh, here we go. You can randomly roll if you want to play DCC version of this game. You can randomly roll your class and occupation too, and your race. You can do that. You can use this for NPCs as well. But this has been some of the stuff that I use. I hope you got some use out of this. But this is how I would run some things if I was running again on 5th edition. And all this that I presented is not like gotcha. These are not homebrew rules. These are all rules as written, almost vanilla. This is the only additional book that I looked at, only for the random tables, actually, to be honest with you. So you don't even really need this. All you need is just Dungeon Master's Guide, Player's Handbook, rules as written, guys. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is something a little different than I have been doing at this table before and on this channel. Give me some feedback. Hit me with the thumbs up. Share the video. Retweet the video. I really appreciate you guys. This has been Crossface, and I'm checking out.